Welcome to the Superhero's Journey, episode number 11. And my name is... It's 11.
Is it?
Right? Last week was 12.
No, last week was 11, dude.
Damn it. Why do I keep doing that?
I don't know.
This is episode number 12 of the
Oh, we're
Superhero's
keeping that
Journey.
in.
Yeah. Yeah, we could edit that up if we need to. But people will enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
My name is Carl Freeman. This is me and my co-host.
Brian Shores. The one who's actually on the ball.
Yeah. All right. Find us on Twitter at Superhero Journey, no E in super. Write to us at thesuperherojourney@gmail.com, where heroes is plural, not possessive.
Yep.
And this week we're going to start off with a great story.
Spectacular one.
About a director. I'm going to say his name wrong, but I'm going to try. I think it's Wame Colette Serra.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
he was the frontrunner to direct the Suicide Squad sequel.
Yep.
Apparently, he has decided to direct this movie called Jungle Cruise. It will star Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, of course. Everything stars... He's like the new Sam Jackson. Every movie has to have him in it. Like,
Yeah, and this is based on the Disneyland ride, which
yeah.
you have heard of, apparently,
Yeah.
but I have not.
Yeah, it's one of those basically like lazy river rides where like you're just on a boat and you're surrounded by animatronic like animals that are like, you know, chasing natives up the trees and stuff like that. And, you know, you have like some poor Disney cast member just, you know, giving a spiel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I went online. I watched a video of the ride just to get a little idea of it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Good description.
Yeah, thank you. Little bit of trivia about the Disney Jungle Cruise and why I have a feeling this movie is being made is that John Lasseter, who, you know, like one of the creative heads at Pixar, he worked when he was younger going through college. He worked at Disneyland and he was the guide on the Jungle Cruise. And so he's very much still entwined with Disney. I think he's the head of the parks, but he still works with Pixar and Disney Animation with Ed Catmull. So I have a feeling that, you know, he's like, hey, if we did Haunted Mansion and all this, like, you know, years ago, let's do the Jungle Cruise. Because,
I mean, with Pirates of the Caribbean winding down now,
Yeah.
the last one was not a success.
how is it that, like, I go to the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie
I don't
and I
know.
don't even think of
Yeah,
Pirates of the
it's
Caribbean?
right over your head.
Yeah, just... Wow. Okay.
But yeah, maybe they think this can be their next big hit. I don't know. Like, I feel like there should be something supernatural in this because
Oh, there has
that's
to
what
be.
made Pirates of the Caribbean so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'll see it because...
Because you see every Dwayne Johnson movie.
Exactly.
Maybe. I don't know. Is that a thing?
No, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
He makes good movies, or he makes movies that he's good in. Some of them are really painful, but
Yeah.
And The Rundown was good.
Rundown. That's his best work.
I
No,
think so.
one of his best.
One of
works.
his best works, yeah. But I mean, they were able to take Pirates of the Caribbean and turn that into like a really interesting movie, you know, with like memorable characters and stuff like that. So
You know, funny you bring up The Rundown. Actually, I was just thinking, like, man, The Rock has
Sean
been in
William
a lot
Scott
of.
should really play Guy Gardner. I'm putting that out in the universe as much as I can. No, sorry. Okay,
That's
go.
fine.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, man, this guy has been in a lot of like jungle themed things because in The Rundown they're in the jungle.
Yeah,
In
Jumanji.
Jumanji 2 that he's in, the Journey to
Oh, yeah, I completely
Journey
forgot about that.
to the Center of the Earth
Yeah.
2 or Journey to
Journey
whatever
to-
they call
whatever,
it.
yeah.
He's in that. That's
Yeah.
jungle themed, and now he's in Jungle Cruise.
I mean, do we want to count? No, that was more tropical. I was gonna say Moana, but that was more so on the water then.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, but there
But
was some jungle-ish elements to
Yeah.
it. I
But
think.
Dwayne, man, you need to maybe turn down one of these jungle themed movies. I'm not sure they're all gonna work out for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his bank account disagrees.
Well, I think at this point he could be cast for anything. I mean,
Yeah,
he could choose whatever role he wants for the most part.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I think he just takes jobs that he has fun with, because otherwise, why would he do Baywatch? There's
Yeah.
nothing on paper that makes that seem like that's a good idea.
I don't know. At first, I had hopes that
Did you watch the show?
not really because I
Okay.
was a kid, and I mean, it was something that it was more like a a fantasy that you're like, oh, I should watch it, but you realize it's not a good show.
Yeah, no, I have distinct memories of like watching that show with my cousins, like, and it's a terrible show, but we watched it like just to like Mystery Science Theater it, like we just made fun of it.
But like the nostalgia factor, I felt like they could have made a more fun, interesting version that better than it ever was in that with The Rock, and it could have been a thing, but
it wasn't.
Yeah, definitely wasn't.
No, but
so yeah, I mean the director he's known for Unknown, Nonstop, which are two of those Liam Neeson like Taken clone type movies. But then this type of horror movie, Orphan, and The Shallows, which was that one with the shark.
Yeah.
So like those two at the end made me think like, oh yeah, I could see why they wanted a Suicide Squad 2, this sort of darker theme stuff. And then maybe the action with Liam Neeson is also for that.
Yeah.
But apparently he was like, nah.
He's like,
I don't want to touch that train wreck.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to make bad movies.
He's like, yeah, I want to work with an up and coming star, not up and coming, but like a big time
that bright-eyed kid,
right?
Dwayne Johnson.
I want to work with someone who's everybody's gonna care to go see type movie. Although Suicide Squad 2 will be seen by a lot of people.
Yeah.
If it ever happens. Was that on the slate? It was, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But already it seems like they're having trouble getting a director for this movie. Like,
yeah, which, I mean, it's never a good sign. But, they're just going to do whatever. And it's going to make them money. And people are going to destroy it on the internet. But then there's going to be, like, this silent, like, majority that's going to watch and be like, yeah, I didn't hate it. Mm-hmm. And then they'll be like, oh, let's make a third one then. If you didn't hate it.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Let's just milk this as long as possible.
Yeah, instead of just being like, okay, let's look at what few things in this worked, and then let's try and find a way to, go off of that, or just scrap the whole thing.
No, let's build a whole universe off of it.
Oh, dude, I would love a Suicide Squad extended universe. That would be so great. Yay.
Yeah, we can get that Captain Boomerang spin-off movie.
Thank God. I hope it's full of unicorns.
Yeah. Oh, we can get the Slipknot prequel story.
Oh, before he gets his head blown off?
Yeah.
Sweet. Which I love that they killed him. Like, that was great.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Because we got our first look at Domino in Deadpool 2, played by Zazie Beetz.
Yeah, which is amazingly her real name.
Yeah. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
We don't know how that happened, but hey.
Yeah.
Because she has a name for Hollywood, apparently.
Yeah. A German-born actress, yeah. But
as far as the look in Deadpool 2, I'm gonna right off the bat
I'm gonna let you start with this one.
2 thumbs down on this, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm of two minds of it, where I completely understand what they're doing with it, why they took the direction that they went, and I'm not opposed to it, but at the same time, one of the things that always appealed to me about the character of Domino was that she was very mutant looking,
right?
And that she had the the bleach white skin and like the dot over her eye, and like I don't care like what race of actress you cast, like it doesn't make a difference to me. But now she basically just looks like she has like just white makeup over one of her eyes, and it's not when you have
wait, you know what I thought of when I first looked at that?
That one dog from Lady and the Tramp.
no dog related though.
Oh.
Barf from Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Yeah.
Literally, that's exactly where my mind
God.
went. Like, she looked like Barf from Spaceballs. That's...
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, dude. Like, that's... And it's so jarring because she's playing off of Ryan Reynolds looking exactly like Deadpool.
Right.
Like, he's got the mask off. His face is all messed up like Deadpool. He got the mask on. He looks exactly like Deadpool. For all intents and purposes... Cable's probably going to look exactly like Cable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Colossus was done so well.
Yeah. They did such a good job on all of that. And like I said, I have no problem with like the decisions they made. I haven't seen the actress in anything, so I don't know if she's good or not.
Yeah, me neither. I'm sure she'll be fine.
Yeah. But and I even understand that, she's a black woman, so they basically just swap the two tones, like the black and the white, and I get that, but at the same time though, it doesn't have the same visual impact.
Yeah, and I always found Domino's look to be iconic.
Yeah,
whether she was a major character or not.
Yeah,
you saw her character, and it always stood out, and it drew you to her.
Yeah.
And that's not really the case anymore. Now she just looks like a normal person.
Yeah, she just looks like, like a beautiful woman with like just white makeup over her eye.
And she's supposed to, she's a mutant, so the white skin is supposed to be a mutant thing.
Yeah,
right?
It's not like, it's clearly not a race thing, because like nobody has like skin like that. So yeah, it was all just part of her mutation.
Yeah, and then also on top of that, they gave her an afro.
Yeah, I didn't care about that.
Which, I don't know. It just seems weird. It's a dated hairstyle. It's not something that you see commonplace. It's weird that you're gonna put that in the Deadpool movie. I just don't think it fits into the tone, the timeline of the movie. The tone, I guess, could be anything in Deadpool, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't like, again, like that didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Like I didn't give that a second thought, but like,
it just makes me think like Foxy Cleopatra from Austin Powers 3.
Yeah. Oh god.
Which is, these are things like you don't want to be thinking about. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't want to be thinking about Goldmember.
Yeah. But okay, so maybe I could see. Okay, she's African American actress. They don't want to paint her white.
Yeah, they don't want to do literal whitewashing.
Yeah, but
I get. Yeah, like.
But I don't buy that excuse, because it's not white. It's stark white, like in the paint on the wall white.
Yeah.
It's not white person white.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not like a race thing. It's not like an ethnicity thing. It's like it's like Yondu. Like it wouldn't make like Yondu has blue skin. It wouldn't make sense for him to just look like Michael Rooker with a fin on his head. Like it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like,
and you can literally cast any race, any skin color. It doesn't matter, because you can use the visual effects, the makeup artist, to make her look like the character in the comic. It's not hard.
I honestly thought before this one was cast, I thought that they were probably going to go, and I don't know why I thought this, but I thought my hope or impression was that they were going to go like with like an Asian actress. I don't know why that was my thought. Yeah. Like, because there's nothing about the character that has ever that I've ever taken away as being like, ethnically specific. Like it's something I've just never given any thought to, apparently. Yeah. But I don't know. Like there was just something about like the I think like that look that worked for me, like visually. Also, I think I kept on going back to I forget the character's name from that show Farscape.
I didn't watch it. Yeah,
there was an actress, or there was, well, not just an actress, there was a character on the show who had like, completely like bleach white bodysuit that I never really watched the show, but like whenever I saw like the promos come on like Sci-Fi, I was like, immediately I just went to like Domino, because there was that like New Mutants show there. Mm-hmm.
And we know this can be done. Yeah. It's not like you can't do this. You had Sophia Boutella in Star Trek Beyond.
Oh yeah.
Playing that Jayla character who was stark white skin with black lines on her. That's it. All you got to do is look at that movie and say, all right, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what actress you cast, you can do that.
Yeah.
And even the hair thing, like I don't like it, because it's too wildly different from the character.
Yeah.
She never had any hair like that in any way, not even close.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Not every character in Deadpool is comic accurate look, but you could easily argue that those other characters have never had any iconic looks to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, what's her name? Negasonic Teenage Warhead is like barely a character in the comics. She's, from what I've read, she's been in like a handful of comics.
Yeah, she was like, a Morlock, and like it's just the name. Yeah. Really, like.
So like they intentionally changed that because it didn't matter. Nobody cared about that character.
Yeah.
Nobody even would recognize that character if you showed them that.
Yeah.
Same thing with, was the Ajax guy? Was he even I don't know if he was or not.
Yeah, he was. I think he was in the comics. Yeah, same thing with Angel Dust, but
Angel Dust, right?
They were such small characters like that. I'm sure they have, like, statistically, I'm sure there's enough people in the world where there's somebody who is like, no, that is the pinnacle of creativity. That is the best character ever created. And I respect that opinion, but like they were never characters that were big enough for me to care about.
Right. But your average comic book reader wouldn't have no idea what those characters look like.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to recognize them and pick them out in most cases.
Yeah.
But most people would recognize what Domino, most comic book readers would know who Domino was, especially if you're older, like us in our 30s. You grew up with the X-Men in that time period, and X-Force.
Yeah.
You would know who Domino was, and you know what she looked like.
Yeah.
And it bothers me a lot that they decided that they're just going to make her look like whatever they feel like, essentially.
That was kind of wonky. Like, it's basically like, because we still have yet to see like full on what Cable looks like, and that would, it's essentially like if they decided that, oh, he now doesn't have like the scarred eye and he doesn't have like the robot arm.
Yeah, that would be wrong. But but immediately off the bat, the casting of Josh Brolin, sort of tells me that they're trying to make him look like Cable, So
like every name that was kind of like thrown around, it evokes like the idea of, okay, they're going for somebody who can be Cable.
Yeah.
Whether it was, like Russell Crowe or did they mention Carl Urban at one point?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but
he's not quite old enough, but
no, but still, like, he's
Mel Gibson,
yeah.
But when they cast Zazie Beetz and being an African American actress, like, I immediately thought, like, well, okay, that doesn't seem like the way the character should be portrayed, but if you paint her skin, do the skin tone the way it is in the comics, then it would work.
Sure.
And now we get to the point where that's not the case, and that's not what they're doing. So, I don't know. Not much we can do at this point. It's obviously, this is the way it's happening.
Yeah, and honestly, like,
and I'm just gonna be unhappy about it, and hopefully the movie is great, and it makes me forget, because that's
I'm sure
important.
It will, like,
right?
Because the first movie was a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, because that means, like, Spider-Man: Homecoming changed a lot.
Yeah,
and it didn't bother me. But it also had the advantage in this case of we've seen Spider-Man done many times before, so it's okay to change it up, because we've already. What are we gonna do? The same thing over and over? But we've never seen Domino on screen, so that's why I want that representation.
And I'm also coming from the same place of with this as I did at Spider-Man. As I said many times, I didn't like how the Vulture looked. I didn't think it was. I think they could have done a better job at keeping it more faithful to the comic, with still making it, real world believable and interesting, and and
hey, they gave him the coat with the fur.
Yeah,
there,
and that was cool. They gave him the flight jacket with like the fur like around the collar. And that was cool. It wasn't really enough for me, but at the same time, Michael Keaton, what he brought to that role made me completely forget any complaint that I had about the look.
Yeah, and hopefully this happens the same way.
Yeah.
But that's sort of like a paying homage to an old design.
Yeah.
Whereas, like certain characters, like Vulture, for example, and Falcon, like their comic book looks are really old and ridiculous.
Oh, completely.
And Domino's look was never old and ridiculous. It's cool. It's always been cool.
Yeah. It's a very, I don't know if I necessarily want to say timeless look, but it's up there. Like, it's it's very simple, but it's grabbing.
Yeah, no one's gonna look at that in the comic and say, "Oh no, we can't do that on film because it'll look terrible."
Yeah.
But if you looked at Vulture, you would probably, most people would say that. Most people making a film would be like, "No, there's no way we can do that."
Okay, here's one thing I will say, and like this did just pop in my head. The vast majority of dominoes that I've played with in my life have been black tiles with white dots on them.
What?
I'm pretty sure that
the standard domino is white with black dots.
I'm pretty sure that the vast majority of the ones that I've played with.
I've never played with a black domino with white dots, although I know they exist.
Yeah.
The standard issue domino is white with black dots, and obviously that's where her name came from.
Yeah,
because she's white with a black dot on her eye.
Yeah.
Like stark white people, okay?
Yeah.
And
okay, when we say white, we're not talking like when we're saying white and black, we're not talking about race or anything like
right.
that. It's literally just the colors. That's all we're saying.
All right, let's
so both of you listeners, we're not racist.
We've talked this to death.
Yeah.
People, maybe, who knows? I'm sure some people are going to be angry about this, and
yeah.
I'm sure some people are going to defend it.
Yeah.
And
everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
And based off of what I've seen from the past movie, and knowing that Ryan Reynolds probably is being the gatekeeper of like the quality of this, because it's because Deadpool is a character that he seems to really love and have an affinity for. Yeah. I have a lot of faith that the decisions they're making are good ones. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, but it's controversial to say the least.
Yeah. Look, not everything is just black and white in this world.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
Except for Domino.
Yeah. Except for Domino.
All right. So, next story here, we have John Cena cast in the Bumblebee movie.
Sure. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, it is a sort of who cares, because.
Yeah. I mean.
I don't know. I mean, the other actress in it is Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Who I do like from things I've seen her in. And John Cena, I mean, I don't know. I liked him in Trainwreck, so.
I never watched it, but like I'm not opposed to John Cena. He's fine. Like the stuff he's done that like I've seen, I've enjoyed him. I just don't care. Like
yeah.
And it like I've never cared about the Transformers movies. Well, that's not true. I had a slight investment in the original, or the first one, the first Michael Bay one, and there was probably like 3 things in there that I watched and I was like, okay, I got everything out of this that I want to see. Like when they transformed, they snuck in the sound effect from the cartoon a couple times. Like that was cool. It's really all I wanted. Like a couple of scenes of robots fighting. I got that. That's all I wanted. The movie needed to be 10 minutes long for me.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I have no real interest in this movie, there are 2 other facts here that the movies it's in the 80s. That's one obvious, we know already. But the 2 other ones is apparently Bumblebee will actually be a VW bug in this.
Finally.
From what I read. Which, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And the director is Travis Knight, who worked on Kubo and the 2 Strings.
Oh, okay.
So that's a plus.
Yeah.
And it's not being directed by Michael Bay. So, I mean, on paper already, I kind of feel, even though I have no interest, that this may be the best Transformers movie we'll ever get.
Sure. I mean, like.
But at the same time, like, I don't care, and why at this point it's too late because you've already ran it into the ground. I
mean, like, you could tell me that, like, you could give me the best punch in the face ever. I still don't want it. Like, I don't care if it's the best, just something as long if I don't want it or I'm not interested in having it.
Okay, well, what if I gave you a punch in the face with $1 million and you get to keep it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, see, that's a good punch in the face.
Well, yeah, but I was talking about just the punch in the face. I'm also not going to get $1 million for watching the Bumblebee movie. And let's be honest, you could be like, "Hey, Brian, I'll give you $500 if I can punch you in the face," and I'm like, "I'll take that."
Yeah. Do we have any listeners that want to take that?
It's $500.
You might get a lot of punches in the face if we had.
I might get a lot of $500.
Yeah, right.
I could take a punch.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, oh man, I mean, I hope that this movie is at least somewhat good. But
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's good. I've accepted that it's going to be made. I've accepted that a lot of people are going to go see it. Possibly not in the theater.
I mean, that's not necessarily. Yeah, right. Because the last one didn't do very well.
No, but it's going to do well
worldwide. It did, did well. But
yeah, well, it's like because I'm not a fanboy for this. I know I mentioned in the last one, but like Power Rangers didn't really do great in the theaters, but based off of home release and like streaming and DVD and all that, they're already talking about a sequel to that now. They're in talks about who they're casting as the Green Ranger, because Kevin Smith in one of his DVDs like years ago before it was podcasting, he made a very like simple like off-handed comment that it rings very true, is that theatrical release is just a really great commercial for like DVD sales, and now it's like DVD streaming.
Yeah,
download.
that's true.
So yeah, so I mean, if a movie only makes $50 million theatrical, but it has hundreds of thousands of or millions.
Yeah, I mean, these are things you could literally sell again and again forever.
Yeah.
You always have new people that can come in and pick this up.
Yeah. So, like more power to them because if they're going to make the money off of this, then there's a good chance that some of the money that they make off of these movies that I don't like is going to go into a movie that I do like.
Like Silverhawks?
Yes. Yes. Is that a thing I missed?
I wish that was a story we had.
Dude, you got my hopes up so much. How incredible would that be, a Silverhawks movie?
I know. Okay. The last thing I wanted to say about this Bumblebee movie is that I just wonder. Okay, are there other Transformers in this movie? Are there Decepticons?
There has to be.
Right? You'd think so.
Oh, dude, please. You know what would be incredible is if they turn this into like an old Warner Brother or Hanna-Barbera style cartoon where it's John Cena and Haley Steinfeld just like driving across country solving mysteries with Bumblebee.
Or it's like
Herbie.
It's Herbie the Love Bug, yeah.
Oh, dude, that would be so incredible. Please make it be that.
All right.
Let's
leave it
awesome.
there. Hey, we got some casting news for the Hellboy reboot film.
Oh, yeah.
Ian McShane is going to play Hellboy's adoptive father.
Yeah. Dr. Broom.
Dr. Broom.
Yeah, it's like super long, but it's pronounced Broom. It's like, it looks like Brudenholm or something.
Okay,
but it's
yeah.
Broom, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that casting a lot.
It's great.
I've watched American Gods recently, and he's in that,
that.
and he's fantastic in that.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I remember I didn't watch the show religiously, but I remember catching him in Deadwood, and he's really good in that. Yes, and I think he has the right look. He's a talented actor. I'm actually getting really excited for the Hellboy reboot.
Yeah, this could be something great.
Yeah.
I like the first two, but they did have that early era superhero type feel that they sort of bucked the trend a bit, but
yeah,
they also Guillermo del Toro's got that very unique style.
Yeah, well, I think I didn't love the second Hellboy as much as I loved the first one. I genuinely love the first Hellboy movie. I think it's great.
One's great. Yeah.
And I think what they did was like the most brilliant thing that they could have done, and it's something that I think Marvel aped from that, is that they made a movie where you completely buy the character as Hellboy. It's not story-wise faithful to any existing property, but it has the feel. It has 100% the feel of what the character should be, which is the same thing that they eventually did with Iron Man and Captain America, where they had to change stuff because it wouldn't make sense, to the original source material, but it very much has the spirit of the character and like the tone of the character. Yeah,
that is true. It did have the Marvel effect where they made you love the main character.
Yeah.
Like you didn't need to like the villain, because the villain actually isn't that compelling.
No, he's not great.
So it is in that way a lot like the Marvel movie where they focus more on the hero, and the villain is really more of just a plot point. Like he's there to move the plot along. He's the conflict of the movie, obviously. And that's what most villains are anyway.
Yeah. It's basically something to happen in between the character development.
Yeah, and if you don't love the character and his arc, what he's going through, you're not going to care about the movie, because the villain's never going to have an interesting arc. I mean, not never. In most cases, rarely they do,
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to, follow them along.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I mean, Marvel's still trying to convince me that Loki is super interesting, but
done a decent job though. He's had a bunch of good moments throughout his movies.
He's had a bunch of good moments, and he's a fun character, but I'm not nearly as invested in him as I am any of the heroes. And I'm not really supposed to be, except for DeviantArt, who draws him as a horse for some reason.
Well, he's also a character that in the comics is not interesting or popular. Nobody cares about Loki in the comics.
No.
So I mean, kudos to them for making him popular now and successful in the movies.
Yeah.
All right, so that was it for that. We also have we got this interesting one. This was on Twitter, a conversation that happened. Dave Bautista, somebody asked him something about the Eternal Warrior adaptation of the Valiant comic.
Oh yeah.
And he responded acknowledging it, and apparently he wasn't supposed to because this hasn't been officially announced. So it sounds like he is working on it, and he may have been cast, but there was no official word or casting yet on this.
Yeah.
Which would be cool. I mean, from what I read, I don't know too much about Eternal Warrior, but the gist of what he is seems like he's an immortal who has super strength and regenerative powers, and he's a great, amazing fighter. He's had thousands of years of experience and training of different fighting styles with weapons and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of those immortals, I think 3 of them. And they were all born before recorded history, and they protect these geomancers.
Okay.
And his stories span throughout all different ages throughout history. So yeah, there seems to be a lot of potential for a really cool, character and stories that you can do, and visuals, aesthetics that you can take for that.
Yeah, I mean, I am so very ignorant on this character. I know nothing about him. I think I've heard the title before, only from like sponsoring or being like possibly like being a sponsor for NerdSync maybe, or maybe Variant Comics, like one of the YouTube channels that I follow. But yeah, I really know like next to nothing about it. So, but I do like I do enjoy Dave Bautista. I think from everything that you just read, I think he's pretty good casting for it, because he has like the fight background, he's got the acting background, so yeah. You know who should play him? Dwayne Johnson.
Sure.
He's in everything else.
Yeah. He should play Bloodshot too, right?
Yeah.
The other Valiant character that we probably mentioned that.
Yeah. I think
yeah,
so, like
with
a while ago.
Well, Jared Leto
is
rumored to play Bloodshot. I mean, I don't know these characters. Yeah, well, I don't know. Like I said before, I don't know much about these Valiant comic characters, but they do. I remember seeing the comics when I was young, and I had a few of them.
Yeah.
And I was never super into it, but they were interesting. They had a good look to them, and I'm all for another, comic book universe.
Sure.
And maybe, they'll be smart and they'll start it off right, unlike, the way DC did it. They'll try to do the Marvel thing where they build up each of these characters. It seems like that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You got a Bloodshot movie that they're working on. You got a Eternal Warrior possible movie. I don't know. There was another one. Oh, there was a Ninjak, like, what do you call it? Like web series thing that they did.
Oh.
Which I don't know how that was supposed to play into it. It was weird because I was reading about it. They said that somehow that character was going to be in this cinematic universe, but that seemed weird that they would do that.
No idea.
But, starting with solo movies and making those characters interesting and people wanting to see these characters before you talk about any sort of, crossover thing, that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
We need to know who these characters are and why we should care about them.
Yeah, which I'm totally cool with going into a movie and having the movie tell me that.
Yeah, and plus these characters are all more, I think, R-rated in the comics. But these comics were always more violent, the Valiant comics.
I mean, it sounds that way.
Yeah, because Ninjak, I remember, was really bloody.
I remember nothing about it.
Yeah. I think, was Turok? I think he was in Valiant Comics for a while.
Oh, Turok.
Turok, Dinosaur Hunter from like...
oh.
Yeah, he had a video game that was popular.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he was... And then Exo Manowar was another character.
Okay.
From Valiant Comics.
All right.
I would love to see a Turok movie. I don't know why that's not a thing yet. Because
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is tied up in many other things.
They would.
Does it take place in a jungle? Cause
oh yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Dwayne, if you're listening,
we found your next project, sir.
All right, so I think that's it. That's all we really have to say about that.
Yeah.
Small point. Ant-Man and the Wasp has started production.
Yeah, with the super fun little teaser thing they put out with the tiny chairs. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Obviously they're having fun with it already, and I'm excited to see some set photos and stuff coming out.
Yeah, this is a movie I'm very interested. And seeing how it develops, and actually I'm very much looking forward to the movie itself, because I think I've said a bunch of times, Ant-Man I think is it's probably my favorite of the MCU movies. I don't know if I necessarily think it's like the best, but it's definitely
it's just really fun. It's a different character.
And like, let's be honest, it's a heist movie, and there is not a dude alive who does not want to take part in a heist. Like, can you name one guy you have ever met that would turn down being part of a heist?
I don't know.
Would you?
It depends on the heist. I'd have some interest.
You're lying. If someone was like, "Hey, Carl, we're gonna pull off a heist. Are you in?" You would be pulling on your ski mask, trying to figure out who on the team you're gonna be like is gonna like turn against you. I mean, come on, like.
It'll be me.
Probably.
Because I'll call the cops immediately.
Just be like,
"Hey guys, my friends, they're committing this heist. You should probably stop them."
You should probably stop them. It was fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we broke in, but I just did it so I could be a witness to everything. So yeah, totally like blow everyone in. I'm on your side. Can I get a badge? No? Okay. But
I wonder, like, are they going to do another type of heist, or
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to do that.
I don't know. I don't know the direction that they're going. I'm wondering if they're going to go like in a completely fantasy route or something, and maybe fantasy is not the right way to describe that, but go in the route of trying to find the original Wasp, because she is now cast, Michelle Pfeiffer, great casting.
Yeah.
So, because we've seen that Ant-Man can shrink down to the subatomic and come back, even though I don't, that could have been just a fluke or whatnot, but...
Well, I mean, being that now...
But how fun would that be to have Ant-Man and the Wasp, like, going around as subatomic?
Yeah, we might see that at a certain point. Obviously, Hank Pym thought that it was impossible, and now that he knows that it can be done, he's definitely going to do everything he can to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I can see him... making this something that they can do now.
Yeah.
At a certain point, without, it being as risky. So,
but they do have Goliath now.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure there's going to be a pretty big, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. or Avengers tie-in.
Well, what I think is really great about Ant-Man, and why I think everyone should really be paying attention to this, is because it's a really different type of superhero movie.
Yeah.
It's not like every other superhero movie, if you think about it, is always somebody who's got some powers that makes him fight better in some way.
Yeah.
And that's not really what Ant-Man does. Like, yeah, he can fight people, but that's not really what his power is best at.
Yeah, I mean, because, I mean, like, if you think about it, Scott Lang, he was, like, a relatively, like, athletic guy that, because you can see from when he's breaking in, but he essentially has like a couple days worth of fight training.
Yeah.
So, and like the suit, the ability augments it, but it's more so just about like,
it's more about how you use it.
Yeah.
Tactically, situationally,
yeah.
The ants as well, the controlling of the ants,
Yeah, it's a lot more like, I don't want to say intellectual, but maybe like it's a more cerebral way of
defeating your opponents in not just like I'm physically better than you, like I'm stronger or I'm a better fighter.
Yeah, he's not punching his way out of
right,
things.
or have better weapons. That's not what it's about.
Yeah,
and you can't really say that about other superhero movies.
No, I mean,
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
No, I mean, I think they did a really good job describing in the first Ant-Man, where Hank Pym has a line of like, this isn't like some kind of cute technology like the Iron Man suit. Like, I love how he's so dismissive. He's like, "That's adorable, Tony. You keep on playing. You go fly around. I'm gonna actually like alter physics."
Right.
And like that is great. Like,
yeah, and the weight of that scientific achievement is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
And I would like to see if with the Goliath casting, I would like to see them delve into the idea of what it means to become giant size, like what effect that would have. And so we'll see how it goes, but I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, no,
can't wait to tell you guys more when we start seeing stuff come out.
Oh yeah, I really look forward to doing our spoiler-filled breakout review of that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So, all right, next little thing of news, we have Jeremy Renner apparently officially in Avengers 4.
Yeah, in an interview with Collider, they were talking, and he said, basically was saying, yeah, there's not really much we can say just yet, but he said I go back and start shooting in a few months, or maybe it was like March or May or something like that, just confirming that that Hawkeye is gonna make it out of Infinity Wars, unless they do a life model decoy.
There you go. Or he's a Skrull.
He's a Skrull.
Yeah.
Or he's been a Skrull this whole time.
The whole time. Someone's gonna have to have been a Skrull.
Yeah.
Who will it be?
Bruce Banner.
Bruce Banner.
I mean, it's the easiest one, because they're already shapeshifters.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean that would, I don't know, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean that's that now that we had that idea, we posed that idea. I mean, yeah, anybody could be. Although I think Captain Marvel is after Avengers 4, so
yeah,
probably not. I don't think we'll see. You think we'll see the Skrulls before Captain Marvel?
I hope so. I hope they hint at them. Because in Captain Marvel, it's they're saying it's going to be in the midst of the Kree-Skrull war, so there has to be some if we're seeing the Kree kind of all over the place, then we have to, unless Captain Marvel ends with them annihilating the Skrulls. Yeah,
I'm not saying they wouldn't be around. I don't know that they're going to introduce that idea outside of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because Avengers 4 is going to be about Thanos, I imagine, still in the Infinity Gauntlet. So probably wouldn't.
I don't know. I think I'm just getting impatient because I want to see Captain Marvel. That's the next one that I'm actually really excited about.
Oh yeah.
More so than Infinity War, more so because it just seems like it's a far cry. Well, actually, no, Ant-Man and the Wasp I'm more excited for, but
yeah.
But besides the obvious of that, because I really like Brie Larson, and everything that I'm hearing about it sounds great, and everything that I see about it looks good.
Yeah, I'm really excited actually to see how they pull off the Superman sort of level powered character. I mean, I know she's not obviously as strong as Superman, but she is that level, because she can just fly, and she's super durable and super strong.
Especially because there were some rumors that we might actually be seeing Marvel show up in there, and
yeah, I could see that. And she also can shoot energy blasts. We don't really have any of that. We have all that is really tech based, or of course, there's you have the Hulk and Thor, right? But they're not. Thor's not human, and Hulk is. He was human, but I don't know what he is. You want to consider him at this point when he's
like a
Hulk.
mutate, I think.
Yeah. But they're not earthly really characters. Hulk is Earth, but he can't talk. He's not a figure like Superman, right? Because that's the reason to bring it up, because Captain Marvel is sort of like a Superman type figure. She's a hero that people would like, and she would be a good example for people.
Yeah.
So and I really want to see how they explain also the flight, and the energy blast thing, because most superhero stuff doesn't really try to explain things, but I think Marvel has done a good job of making their powers grounded. Believable in somewhat obviously not true to physics, but have a basis in that world's physics.
Just have it. They have a good job. They do a good job at making it grounded and weighted, so that when you see it, it's not just what that could never happen.
Yeah,
it's it's like the first time that you watch the first Christopher Reeve Superman, when he catches Lois Lane. You buy it. It's just they're I know people can't fly, but I actually buy that there's because he has the little dip when he catches Lois Lane and he goes back up. It's I buy that. I can understand that's that's how that works. But I don't know. I'm actually I think you brought up a good point. I really want. I would be really excited if Captain Marvel was the best Superman movie. Very much like how Galaxy Quest for the longest time was the best Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
I would love that. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think there's a lot going for it in the right direction.
Yeah. That's a movie that we can't wait to hear more about, and that's a ways off. And we were talking about Avengers 4 and Jeremy Renner, but that's not as interesting as Captain Marvel. As much as we like Hawkeye.
Yeah, until they say Hawkeye's getting his own standalone movie or his own Netflix show. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say. I really do love the character. I think they've done a lot of fun stuff with him.
Yeah, we don't want him to die, so we're happy he's in Avengers 4.
Yeah.
Unless it's some flashback, and we're like, no.
Yeah, that would,
damn it.
that would be unfortunate.
So, all right, move on to, this is something that I'm sure you're probably really excited about.
Yep.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Okay, we'll do this one, because I set it up so well already.
Oh,
So the Flash TV show is cast
is not where I thought
some guy. I don't know who he is.
Talk about the Sam Jackson thing.
No, named Hartley Sawyer.
Yeah.
And he's gonna play the Elongated Man.
Yeah, which I'm excited for. It's gonna be fun.
I figured you would be.
It's gonna be super fun.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know anything about Elongated Man?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
please enlighten me.
Okay, he is in. I think he's like the top 3 most skilled detectives in DC. He's right up there. Like, he's equal to Bruce Wayne or to Batman.
Cool. Okay.
He is a private investigator, and he's like a non-lame version of Plastic Man, where like his body can, very much like Mr. Fantastic, can stretch and then contort and just form like any kind of shape. And him and his wife Sue Dibney, have basically a private investigating agency, and they're like a husband and wife team, detectives. And I don't know if they're gonna bring her in, because she was a very pivotal character in Infinite Crisis, which was a comic series that Brad Meltzer wrote. I think it was Brad Meltzer.
Yeah. I wouldn't know.
Okay, but yeah, it tied in with like the death of Maxwell Lord and all this other stuff. It was really good. So I'm excited. I know it's like kind of a one-off, but with all of those, I'm sure he's going to come back at some point in time if people like him. But it sounds like in this episode, it's like he's like a private investigator who just gets his powers, and then he kind of teams up with like Team Flash.
Mm-hmm.
That's the impression I'm getting. But it seems to hold true to what Grant Gustin said a little while back, saying that this season is going to go back to the fun. The fun episodes of the Flash.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
I'm excited for the fact that I like that power set of that stretchy Mr. Fantastic thing. It's something that's underutilized.
Yeah.
We've never really seen it done well.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that on the TV budget it's going to be amazing, but they've pulled off some really good stuff in these shows, so I think they'll do it justice. They'll do some cool things that we'll like. And I hope that at some point we do get a major movie character that has this power, obviously outside of Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, like Plastic Man or something.
Plastic Man could be a really awesome comedy.
Yeah, it could be like that, DC's Ant-Man, where he has this power that doesn't necessarily make him better at fighting, although I'm sure he can, obviously fight people who are just randomly, normal people. But like his power set would enable him to do all kinds of weird things in unique situations where he could solve problems with thinking about how to use this ability. Yeah. Instead of just thinking about how do I punch this guy harder or more effectively,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's going to be really fun. I hope that they do justice to the character, and that they don't make it too lame or jokey. And that they hold true to him actually being a detective, and he's not just like, second to Joe and like, as like a investigator, and then second to Barry as like a hero.
Right. Yeah. I mean, will he be maybe from another, town somewhere, and he's coming in and he is equal level to Joe as a detective or something?
I think it would be awesome if he came in and Joe was kind of like impressed by him, or just like, or they even get, and this is, with all my love for Joe, like I've said many times, he's like my favorite TV dad. Like I love that character. Mm-hmm. But I think it'd be really cool if like, he came to Central City and Joe is, just like talking him up to Barry. He's like, no, I've heard of this guy. He knows his stuff. Like, he's like, we could learn a thing, from this guy, and, and have him actually be like that supreme level detective. do some like Sherlock Holmes stuff.
Yeah, that would be a good representation. Either way, I think the show has represented a lot of the small cameo characters in good ways.
Yeah.
So I'll look forward to it. It's definitely an episode I'll be happy to watch.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of faith in what they're going to do and the decisions that they've made. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to... All right, you had some news on the Nightwing movie.
Oh, yeah. The
movie that I'm not sure why they're making, and I don't really have any interest in. But you really like this character.
Yeah, I really like Nightwing. I've always enjoyed Nightwing and Robin more than I've enjoyed Batman. Probably because for the exact reason why Robin was created. Like, I was reading the comics as a kid, and I could relate to a kid more than an adult. And then just kind of obviously like Robin grew up like before I did because he was existed in the 30s and I didn't. But yeah, it was just a character that I've just I've just really enjoyed. So I'm kind of excited for the movie, and I have a little faith in, and I think this is kind of in the same vein of bringing Joss Whedon in to helm Batgirl and Justice League. The director Chris McKay said after Nightwing was not shown like on the slate for Comic-Con that he that he's saying that the movie's still being made, but he took to Twitter. He had a couple quotes. First one said, and this is slight paraphrasing, but it said, "I've turned down films because they were backed into release date and difficult to make a great film." Then also he said, "This isn't going to be that. I want this to blow you away. We need to get it right." And this is a guy who has done mostly comedy from what I can tell. He worked on Robot Chicken. He did the Lego Batman movie. He's doing Lego Ninjago, which I've seen the trailer and looks really fun.
Yeah, it could be good. I hope it's good.
Yeah, so it seems like he's taking a step back from Warner Brothers and saying like, stop rushing things. We have to get this right. What has been done hasn't been right, and I feel like it's the right mentality to have, but I also feel like he's in a position where he can just walk away.
Yeah,
which seems like to be a trend with
directors
with
on
movies.
DC projects.
So yeah,
he's like, look, this is not going to be another Suicide Squad 2. I'm going to make sure I do this right. And WB's like, that's cool. Can you have it done by tomorrow? And he's like,
no,
you weren't listening to what I said. Oh, you're fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh yeah, it was creative differences.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I wanted to not make a pile of crap, and DC was like, no, we're totally cool with that. We're totally cool with a pile of crap. Can you make us a pile of crap?
Yeah. They're like,
here,
look,
have a burrito.
Here's some name actors, and we've got some people who can make some pretty good special effects, and we've got some money you can put into this movie, and we're gonna market it really well, so people are gonna see it. So don't worry about the details of actually making it a good movie.
Yeah.
That's not really what we're about here at WB.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't know. It seems like Warner Brothers is making so many. They were making so many bad decisions, and now they seem to be on an upswing.
Possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes. I know they're doing...
Justice League sounds like a mess, and
it
could be on the upswing, but
it's a mess, but it's in good hands.
That's totally wait and see mode. I cannot be excited for that movie.
No, but I'm really looking forward to it because I'm not excited to see the movie. I'm excited to see what it is.
If they can turn the page from the past and move on to.
Do you know what I would like to see? I would like to watch Zack Snyder's cut of this movie.
Oh God!
Without all of his stuff, how he wanted the movie, without the reshoots, and then watch Joss Whedon's.
I mean, that would be a very interesting look into the filmmaking process and to see how much things can be changed.
Yeah. Well, because at this point, I don't care about the movie at all. I'm just interested in what's going on with it.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. I don't care. I don't think, from what I've seen, I don't think the movie's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't have any real hope for it. I don't see the characterization of anybody in it really appealing to me. And I think maybe, you know, at best I could get some cool action out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't expect a compelling story or any interesting character arcs or any real big surprises. You know, I mean, Superman coming back obviously is not a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, if a Green Lantern shows up, then, you know, bravo, I'd be very surprised by that.
I wouldn't.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
I honestly, if a Green Lantern showed up and it was like a known actor and it was setting up the Green Lantern Corps movie, that would surprise me. If a Green Lantern shows up, I'd just be like, yeah, that's what I thought would happen, because that's the thing that you thought would.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, like if I have a feeling it would be like Tomari or Kilowog or, even Sinestro. Like I think it would probably be somewhere along that.
But he's got to come in and do something like 10 times cooler than anything we saw in the other Green Lantern movie.
Oh yeah, because they completely wasted that.
Yeah,
like. I've said many times I love that movie because I love Green Lantern, but they did not put the effort behind what Hal should have been doing with that ring.
Yeah, and since we're talking about Justice League, let's move on to this other story recently with the actress playing Iris West.
Yeah.
Kirstie Clemens, I believe is her name.
Yep.
And she recently had some thoughts about her role in the movie. Actually, I think you wrote this down? Or you remembered it better than I did.
Yes, let me see. It was... she said her parts are effing sick.
Effing... now, you think this is Iris West we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how sick these... parts or scenes could be.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, she's also not part of the reshoot, so there's a good chance she's going to cut out of the movie.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for, no offense to her, but I think from everything I've heard, there's too much going on in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, to me, all I can think of is like, why is Iris West in this movie?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get that. But
she also was...
Also, what's she doing in the movie that is effing sick?
I don't know. Like a scene with the Flash.
Oh, I get it. She's sick, and that's why he has to go back in time for Flashpoint. You know, she has like leukemia.
There you go.
Yeah.
Literally
sick. Literally sick.
She also talked about not wanting to watch the Flash TV show because she didn't want to see Candice Patton's portrayal of Iris West, and she didn't want to take too much from that. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that made me laugh a little bit because I was like, she's kind of one of the worst actresses on that show.
Yeah, I mean,
in a lot of ways.
Like, I enjoy what,
or at least her role is one of the worst in that.
Yeah, like I enjoy Candice Patton, but I think they're making Iris on the show very one-dimensional. And from what I hear or have read, for this this upcoming season, it seems like they're developing her character some more. So hopefully they're giving it more depth. But she's clearly the most underdeveloped character on the whole show. I mean, Wally West has been on the show like a season like 2 seasons.
Yeah, I know. I like Wally much more than her.
Yeah, but he's so much more developed. He's so much more interesting. You know, she's basically just like, I love you, Barry. Now I'm going to write a story about the Flash, and people are not going to like the story about the Flash, and then I will get them to like the story about the Flash. Like, it's not interesting. Like, I totally get, like Caitlin is a great character. Jesse Quick is a great character. Like, they're interesting characters. Things are happening with them that I care about, that I want to know more about. Even though Caitlin's, we already talked about last week, Caitlin seemed to turn around really quick, but it just seems like, it's kind of a stupid thing to just be like, that's like, I don't want this glass of room temperature water to influence my decisions about playing Iris West in the Flash movie. Like, it's literally just there. Like,
yeah, I mean, you could also look at it as, that's just a nice way of saying, like, I don't really want to watch that adaptation because it's the wrong adaptation or to look at for inspiration for the character I'm playing.
Yeah.
Because you should probably I don't know the character that well, and I can't imagine she's even that interesting in the comics either. But
no, I think she was very much a
make your own version at this point.
Yeah, I think originally she was very much like a Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Just like girl reporter, like damsel in distress kind of girlfriend to the superhero, and then developed. I think the most interesting thing about Iris West that they ever did with her is gave her a nephew.
Yeah.
That's the most interesting they ever did with Iris, because without her, we don't get Wally West, and we don't get the best version of the Flash that. Well, I mean, Grant Gustin's Flash, I think, is the best version of the Flash, but in the comics, I was a big Wally West fan.
And her casting was, I thought, surprising to me that they went the same route as the TV series.
Yeah.
And cast an African American. I think she might be mixed, this
no
actress,
idea.
But it was a little strange to me that they did the same thing, and they seem like her and what's his name, who's playing the Flash,
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. They definitely seem like they're both young.
Mm-hmm.
Like that couple is going to be the I don't know, millennial sort of young. This is what all the teens are gonna be like they're gonna. I feel like their relationship and their characters are going to be very fake and unrelatable to most people.
Yeah.
Because they're probably going to be like, what do these older studio exec people think that young people would act like, type scenario. And I could be wrong, but
keep in mind, Kyle.
I don't,
like you said earlier, we're not the young people anymore.
But I don't have any interest in them two. I just don't.
Yeah.
And I don't like Ezra Miller already. I've already said that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about him. I don't. Like I said, I don't like all of the Justice League stuff. I don't care about. It's a overused cliche, but it's looking at like a car wreck. It's there. You shouldn't look, but you can't look away.
Yeah, that's Justice League in a nutshell.
Yeah, and I hate using that stupid cliche, but it fits for this one.
Yeah. All right, so what else? What should we go on to here? Well, okay, a little bit of casting for the Titans or Teen Titans based
Teen Titans, yeah.
TV series. They cast Raven. What was her name?
Tegan Croft and she was in a TV show that I had never heard of, and then nothing else.
Right, and she's 13, from what I read.
Yeah.
So
she's pretty young.
I think that's the more important thing to note about this casting, that they casted someone who's a child.
They actually cast a teenager as a teenager.
Yeah. Which, I guess I shouldn't say child, a teenager, right?
I should say child, dude.
Yeah, but definitely. It makes me wonder, though, okay, the show is they think they're going to call the show the Titans, right? They're not calling it Teen Titans.
I think it's Teen Titans, yeah.
Okay, are they all going to be young? Are they going to be teens, or is she younger than all of them for some reason?
I think she's younger than all of them, but Raven came in as she was always really young.
She was always young. Okay.
Well, not always. I think they aged her up eventually, but I think she might have just been 16 to 18 when the character came in, and I think they've done other things with her character in the past where they've moved her age up and down, but no, because I think if we go back, if we try and remember back to the casting breakdowns, I think Beast Boy is still supposed to be on the young side, but then you have Dick Grayson, Nightwing, who is going to be, I think late 20s. They were saying he's going to be a cop.
Great.
So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to, because there's apparently only 4 Titans. It's going to be Nightwing, Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven. So Starfire and Nightwing are mom and dad.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean,
yeah. I don't have much else to say about Teen Titans. I never watched the cartoon, never read any comics.
See, I loved the Teen Titans comics.
Yeah. I don't like Nightwing. I don't like Robin.
Dude.
I'll see how the non-superpowered guy is the leader of this superpowered team.
It's a really quick read. I'll give you a copy of the Judas Contract to read, and like if you don't like that, then this is very much the Enterprise list I give you. If you don't like that, then you won't like any of it. You know, and I mean it's not for everyone, but they do really. It was when basically like Marv Wolfman came in. And, you know, he just, you know, he said, like, okay, Flash is out because he's the most powerful character. There's no reason why anyone could beat him. So, Kid Flash is out. And then, you know, they had, you know, Robin retire as Robin and turn into Nightwing. And he was basically the head of the team as, like, a strategist. You know, he was there for, like, ground support, but he was a strategist. He wasn't even in costume for most of it. So it's stuff like that I kind of hope that they go the route of with the show. But
yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. I'm actually it's weird. I was thinking about this morning. I'm more excited about this show than I am for like, you know, Runaways and New Warriors and like Cloak and Dagger and all that stuff. I'm more excited for this, but I completely forget about this show until I hear news.
You know, I read something that this is on some sort of like DC Comics like streaming network they're putting together or some other network.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, well, they have enough properties that. If if they even have their own TV channel, they could fill it with everything ever, just reruns of all these shows.
Well, yeah.
So, I don't know what they're really planning there, but I don't know.
I mean, until like
we're gonna have to pay extra to watch this show, please. Yeah. Just still make it that.
Yeah. Well, because we got the other thing that they want us to pay extra for to watch, and they're just trying to bury Star Trek now.
So we want to let's pivot into that Star Trek news that we've got.
Awesome segue.
Yeah. Brian has some interesting news on this.
There goes that good segue we had. Yeah, it was there was a Star Trek convention in Vegas this past week, and you know, not a whole lot, but some stuff kind of came out. Basically, there was like 2 bullet points that seemed the most interesting that I pulled out. The first one is like super quick that I'm actually totally cool with. They basically said that the format of the show is going to be long form and serialized, so you just have like one overarching story. I think that's really cool. Like I'm into that.
That's my favorite type of show at this point.
Yeah.
I generally, if a show's not like that, I'm probably not watching it right now.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's cool. I could, if the show's really good, I'll find it a little maddening, like when they hit the hiatus, because I'm very much I very much prefer to binge watch shows, so I kind of hate when I have to wait. I know first world problems and all that. But,
yeah, but it's a good way to differentiate this from other Star Trek shows.
Yeah, so I think that's great. The other thing that I pulled out that I thought was really strange is that I did not write down the actress' name because I'm stupid, but like the main character, Skoya, the one from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Her character, First Officer Michael Berman, or Burnham, however you say. They are doing something really strange with her character that I don't understand why they're doing it. She is the foster daughter of Sarek and Amanda, who, if you guys are Star Trek fans, you know are Spock's parents. So she is Spock's foster sister. So we know about Spock having a half-brother from...
What's the name of the character, or the last name?
It's Burnham. It's B-U-R.
Burnham, okay.
Yeah.
No, because I was looking her up, and her name is Sonequa Martin Green.
Oh, yeah, I completely butchered that.
But the character, I'm looking at her character name, and it says Michael Burnham.
Yeah.
Why is her name Michael?
I don't know. Because it's the 90s, all right?
It's the 90s.
Yeah. No, I think they're just trying to be like, oh, really progressive. No more gender-specific names. Not really. I mean, it's something like I heard about, I never really cared about. Like I don't know. I didn't think about it. I just think it's really strange. The main thing that I don't get about this is like, how is it that now they're giving Spock a sister that, you know, we've seen now 2 interpretations of Spock. 3 if you want to like separate the original series to the movie to the original movie series,
Okay.
where they add more depth to him. But in
Wait.
like Final Frontier, we meet Spock's half brother, and Kirk has this whole thing where he says like, "You've never mentioned having a brother," and like there was never like a bit of dialogue of like, "Oh yeah, I got a sister too."
So he has a half brother. This is okay. I don't remember exactly Spock's parentage.
He's half Vulcan and half human.
Right.
He has a half brother on his father's, from his father's side, who took over the Enterprise trying to find God in Star Trek V.
Okay, and then he's a full Vulcan, I imagine.
Yes, I believe so.
Right, because his father's side.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie, so I don't remember a lot of it. But yeah, he was a full Vulcan, but like he felt emotion, like he gave up the Culinary and he like felt emotions and stuff like that. So he was not a very traditional Vulcan.
Okay, now where does this character come from? Is she a half sister?
Foster sister.
Foster sister.
So she's human, but she's being raised by Sarek and Amanda.
And those are
Spock's parents.
Okay.
But
I got nothing here.
Okay. But the show takes place 5 years before the original series. So like they would have gone through the academy together at least.
Yeah, it would
Spock
make sense.
Spock should be teaching at the academy at this point, I think.
I have no idea what timeline this is going to...
it takes place... They've announced that it takes place in the original timeline.
The original series?
The original series. So it's not the J.J. Abrams verse.
The beginning of the original series, is Spock new to that? Or he's been in Starfleet for a long time?
He's been in Starfleet a long time because he's a commander. So he has to have been there for years, like... to have been promoted from...
Are they going to like name drop Spock a bunch of times in this show?
Probably, but I mean, like,
is he going to show up? Because I mean,
I actually would be a little surprised if Zachary Quinto didn't make a cameo, like a surprise cameo in there.
Yeah,
because I mean, he's done TV before. He seems like he's pretty ingrained in Star Trek.
Sure, but if you really want to confuse, people, why then yeah, go ahead and do that, because your original trilogy timeline with new movie timeline actor.
Yeah, well, I mean,
playing the character.
Well, Leonard Nimoy was in both. He played Spock in both. He was the original, and then he was in...
But they explained that he was from the other universe because of the time change.
But you're supposed to just accept the fact that they're the same person. Like...
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay.
You're supposed... Because...
So he is young Spock.
He is young Spock.
In either universe.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So,
all right.
I mean, like...
You won me over.
Yeah. I mean, like, it'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. Zachary Quinto, come on. Where are you? Show up.
Yeah. I mean,
give us something.
You can't be making yet another American Horror Story, right? Like,
yeah, or that what was that miniseries where he like The Slap or something like that? Right?
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
He like slaps some kid.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever that was.
Compelling TV.
Yeah.
Could have been. I didn't watch it.
No. I mean, I heard things about it.
Yeah.
Not good, not bad, but.
All right. So that's it on that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. It just seems weird that they're just giving Spock a sister out of nowhere. It's one of those like pointless retcons.
What else do we got here? A pair of small DC TV news stories, right? We got some talk about the CW crossover event.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. That they're still being kind of like quiet about it, but they're at least giving some information about the format of it. They're rearranging the show schedule for that week, where everything's gonna take place on Monday and Tuesday. Monday is gonna be Supergirl and Arrow, and Tuesday is gonna be Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. They're basically treating it as a full crossover. So Supergirl isn't gonna be Supergirl. It's gonna be the crossover. Flash is gonna be Flash. It's gonna be the crossover. And it's going to be the week of November 27th. That's a Monday. 28th is Tuesday.
Okay, so they're airing back to back?
Yeah.
Okay, so like whatever Monday you said, Supergirl and Flash?
And Arrow.
An Arrow, right. All right, so they'll be back to back and it'll be almost like a 2-hour special.
Yeah.
That's definitely a better way to do it.
Yeah, because I think we were talking about last season it being kind of wasted.
Yeah.
Because Supergirl barely counted the episode of Supergirl barely counted as the crossover.
Yeah, of course.
Legends almost kind of barely counted as a crossover.
Yeah, I mean, and they very painfully make it so that this episode has to exist within the regular series and be somehow still continuing the storyline of the series proper, and it's not playing to the crossover event as much, right? It's got to it's got to balance both of those two things.
Yeah.
And I get why you would do that, but I think realistically the audience for most of these shows watches probably all of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure some people only watch maybe one, like The Flash or something, or Arrow, because they've been watching it.
Yeah.
But
The Flash is the one I would recommend to watch out of all.
But to that I would say, if you're one of those people and you don't get what's going on, it's just one episode. Yeah. You're not really going to care. It's not like you're like, oh, I didn't understand this episode, I'm just not going to watch anymore.
Yeah.
Like, no. Make a good crossover. Like, find a way to have it be in the next episode for whatever reason, or at least just preface the episode with, like, you know, find out what happened before this on Supergirl or something. So you get those people to maybe watch that other show.
Yeah. See, I think what would have been so much better with the last crossover is if the Dominators that were attacking, you know, like the Arrowverse, like Earth Prime, whatever they want to call it, Earth 1, if there was a breach, or they found a way to like create a breach and they came from Supergirl's, you know, like Supergirl's universe, I think that would have been a lot more interesting. And then, you know, and then she went along with them and found herself on, like, you know, in like Central City, like Barry's world. I think that would have been a much more interesting way to do it, and actually to bring it full circle, because then you could have, you know, had Cisco and Barry on Supergirl a little more, because maybe they were searching or found a breach that was open that they, I don't know, they could have done something a lot cooler.
There were definitely ways to handle it better.
Yeah. But yeah, they are saying though, like beyond just the formatting of it, the producers of The Flash said that it's going to be based around a big life event, and the president of
someone's
the CW,
pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, probably. But then they also said, the CW president said that romance is in the air for it. So I think pretty much like everybody's kind of assuming that it's going to be Barry and Iris get married.
It's going to be the beginning of Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Here's hoping.
Yeah.
Stanley will have his cameo.
Yeah, they're getting married, and then like some new supervillain just randomly shows up, and well, Silver Surfer wasn't a supervillain, but he was sort of at that moment.
I mean, he was
screws
the
everything up, right? And then they're all like, "What's going on? Let's figure out this plot line."
Yeah. I don't know. That movie should have been better.
Meanwhile, I'm referencing probably the coolest action sequence, or the lead up to the coolest action sequence in that whole movie, which is the Flash Human Torch chase sequence.
The Silver Surfer?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said, Brian.
Yeah. Sorry, I have the Flash on the brain, so I heard that. So did everyone else.
Yeah. All right. So then we've got Gorilla Grodd apparently appearing on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, which... cool.
Yeah, which is fine. I like that character. They've done a good job with it.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to bring him back in to the shows, because I really liked what they did with like the when he came in last season, where we actually got to see Gorilla City and all that. Hopefully it's the same continuity, Gorilla Grodd. I'm wondering if because Legends of Tomorrow is a time travel show, not like a multiverse show.
Right.
If Gorilla Grodd if it's going to be kind of like pre, where, it's before he gets sent to Gorilla City.
Yeah. Well, don't forget also, didn't they end the show with like they screwed up the whole timeline and they're in like modern day with dinosaurs.
Yeah, but
Gorilla Grodd would fit right in there.
He would, but it's also not. But they broke time, not the multiverse.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But it's sort of like an alternate universe at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It'll be fun though.
Yeah. I like him. We'll get some good out of that.
Yeah.
All right. I had this. I don't know if you have any other stories that you wanted to go over.
I think pretty much hit like all this stuff that I had.
There's this one just out of the blue, wild story to me. I don't know where this came from, why it's happening.
Did we talk about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll immediately understand what I mean by saying when I said that.
Okay.
When I say we're gonna get Karate Kid sequel series.
Oh God. Why?
Everyone.
No, we did talk about this.
Yeah, we all love the Karate Kid, right?
Yeah, I did love the Karate Kid.
When we were kids.
I was like a nerdy kid growing up in the 80s. Why wouldn't I love the Karate Kid? As a nerdy kid growing up in the 80s who beats up the cool kid. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't need that
so
now.
For all of us who grew up with that, this show is for us, apparently.
Dude, it's going to be like Fuller House.
Yeah, because Ralph Macchio and William Zabka are back, reprising their roles.
Which I just, like, I hope that, like, it goes the route where, like, you know, Daniel Russo is, what's his name? Johnny, was it Johnny?
I have no idea.
Can't remember his name.
I can't remember anything.
It's like, you know, like, he's like, Danny's like his boss at like some insurance company.
Well, the show's gonna be called Cobra Kai.
Oh, so he probably took over the gym, you know, from what's his name, and then it's Daniel Russo's, like, Ralph Macchio's son or something.
What they should do is they have it flip it, right, where the Cobra Kai guys actually become the good characters, right? They're the heroes, and Ralph Macchio is like this old, like, just bitter, terrible person at this point. It's like, for whatever reason.
What if they try and make him the new Mr. Miyagi, but like he's still just not great at karate, so like the kid that he's mentoring just gets his ass kicked.
And all this greatness is going to be on YouTube Red.
Yeah, sure, all the great stuff. It's gonna be that and PewDiePie, like
that great I don't know what you call it,
subscription
service that just so many people, I imagine, love at this point, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything to entice me to get YouTube Red.
All the great shows that we're missing out on, Brian.
Like what?
The PewDiePie show, whatever that's called.
Yeah.
The one with the guys who did the Halo Red versus Blue thing.
Blue, yeah.
Whatever that show's called. You know, all the greats.
All the stuff that I definitely care about deep down inside very passionately.
Now, okay, who do you think, which network, or who's going to have more subscribers? YouTube Red or CBS Access?
Oh, that is a good question. I want to say YouTube Red.
Probably, yeah.
Because like YouTube is so much more accessible, and like everybody knows CBS, but I think YouTube is probably more trafficked at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Star Trek Discovery is going to be enough to get people to subscribe to Matt. There's going to be the people who are big Star Trek fans who don't steal things off the internet.
Yeah.
Who are going to do that and actually pay for it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think people are just going to like, nah, I'm just going to either wait or I don't care. It's not enough for me to pay for an entire service.
Yeah. I mean,
and YouTube Red is just, like you said, it's more accessible. More people know about it. I think some people, you know, will just give that a chance, especially younger people.
Yeah.
You know, who are growing up with it, and maybe now they're starting to get jobs and have money to throw away, and they're like, all right, I'm going to go on this net and get the YouTube Red because I've watched a lot of things on it, and it's something that I want to see more of.
Yeah, I don't know if that's, but at the same time, I don't know if that's the audience for Karate Kid. Like,
definitely not.
Kai,
yeah.
So I don't know what they're really doing with it. I think the place that this
Netflix would have been the place.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Netflix would have been the place for this to thrive.
Yeah.
You know?
Right next to Fuller House. Like somehow if you could put those two next to each other on the Netflix like feed.
Yeah. Like that would be, they're now trending, Fuller House and Cobra Kai.
Yeah, it would be recommended, like, because you watched Fuller House.
Yeah.
Check out Cobra Kai.
Their recommendations make no sense to me.
And
it's like, because you watch Supernatural, check out Cake Boss. I'm like, why?
And the new rating system is really bad at this point. It's just thumbs up, thumbs down. It's like YouTube now.
Yeah, there's no star, like the stars.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. When I first thought about it, I'm like, maybe that could be somewhat good. But then when I look at it now, though, the way it's working out, it doesn't mean anything I don't know, like, if the show is good or not. Like, okay, people liked it, they agreed with it, and I know the ratings on Netflix were never really that great, because Fuller House was getting like 4 stars or something, 5 stars. I don't know what it got.
Yeah. Well, but to be fair, Netflix would not have made that show if they did not know that people were going to watch it. Like, Netflix, I don't think Netflix has really had an original thing that has been a flop.
Yeah, for the most part, every one of their original series ends up getting renewed, and it seems to be doing well. Yeah. I know a few of the shows now at this point, they have canceled, but...
Yeah, I mean, well, like Sense8, but even that had enough of a following to get like one more episode to...
Didn't that come back again? I don't know.
Well, I think Sense8 had like a second season, then it was canceled, and then they were petitioned enough where they are producing like 1 or 2 episodes just to give it a finale. But yeah, they still have yet to have something that's like a true bomb. Because even though, what was it, Iron Fist, got slammed on some things, still did well enough that they got a second season.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that Wet Hot American Summer whatever series based off that. I don't know why anybody would watch that. Every time I look at it, and I think my fiance watched 1 or 2 episodes, and I'm like, this is so off-putting.
Yeah, it was weird.
It just has a lot of known actors in it.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing though. When that first movie came out, they weren't known actors. Right. So this was, and then it kind of just became like this cult classic movie. And then everybody came back. I watched it. I liked it. I never needed to watch it again. I thought the stuff they did was funny. I liked that. I liked that it was like 20 years later, but they're all supposed to be. What was it? The first day of camp. So they were all supposed to be playing teenagers, but they're in their 30s and 40s.
Yeah,
and they were like really like aging it up, so it was blatant that they weren't.
It was really bizarre. Because I couldn't,
but
it's hard to wrap my head around, because I didn't know what was really going on, and as I was just kind of passingly watching it, I'm like, this is.
But it's also like the guys from the state that were doing it.
Yeah.
So it is it is like really just kind of like almost like Monty Python-esque, like kind of sketch comedy guys that are writing this specifically to be just weird and bizarre.
Yeah, and this is a good place as we're wrapping this up for this episode.
There's one thing we have to talk about.
Oh. Yeah, well, I was going to talk about...
before we wrap up.
Okay,
there's one thing.
About some Netflix, because we're talking about Netflix, there are a couple things I had watched on it recently. Mm-hmm. I finished off the Castlevania 4-episode series, and actually I really liked it as I got to the end. Okay. They worked in... it is basically an adaptation of Dracula's Curse, which is Castlevania 3.
Okay.
It doesn't follow everything directly, because there's not a lot of story in that. But, they have the other character. You had Sypha in it, who shows up, and you had Alucard. Mm-hmm. And there's like the final episode has a really good action sequence battle with Trevor Belmont and Alucard. And Sypha's magic's really cool. And I like the world that they built in the story, explaining... where Dracula's from, and what the people in that world think of what's going on and where the monsters are. Yeah. And now that it's very early into it. Like, it's weird that they only did 4 episodes, but maybe it was more like a proof of concept to see if people would like it.
Yeah.
Because it ends with, I don't want to spoil it. Okay. Yeah. If anyone wants to watch it, but it does sort of end with like the beginning of a quest in a sense.
Okay. Cool.
So. Yeah. It's worth checking out. Yeah, but it's not a lot of investment.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, beginning of the second episode where I was like, I'm not so sure, but the second episode ends off really cool.
Are they 20-minute episodes or 40?
They're like...
Or like hour...
20-something. Like, so yeah, like a 30-minute episode, minus commercials type deal.
So really not... Yeah, like you said, not an investment. So that's kind of cool.
So I look forward to more of that.
Yeah.
This other show I just finished watching was Glow.
Oh, yeah, I have not touched that.
Yeah, which stands for gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
And the show is about like it takes place in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and they're making a TV show that is a women's wrestling show.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be just like a WWE type version, but they're just in the early stages of trying to make this happen. And they trying to hire all these actors, and it's really it's funny, and the characters are good.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start learning the wrestling, they're actually doing like the wrestling moves later on in the show. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes. And after the first season, I really enjoyed.
That's cool. Yeah, I was debating watching that, but I don't know. I hadn't gotten to it, but it is on the list to check out.
Yeah, I would recommend it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was, one thing that made me really smile was that they had one of the songs that was in Transformers, the animated movie, that like Dare song.
Dare to be stupid?
No.
Wait, Dare. Wait.
No, it's one of the. Well, I don't know if that's the title of the song, but it might have been. Either way, it's one of those like really 80s songs. But I was like, yeah, that's.
Didn't they have a Weird Al song in that Transformers movie?
Yes, yeah, that was the Dare to be Stupid song.
Okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a different one.
Oh, okay. the only stipulation to be a song in the Transformers movie is it had to have Dare in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, that's pretty much all I had to say about what I was watching recently on Netflix.
Yeah, there's one thing, and we have not discussed this prior. Rick and Morty.
Oh God, yes.
We have to review Rick and Morty. Come on, dude.
This is a great episode. I mean,
I loved it. It was so much fun, dude. Like it was like, I will say, I think I enjoyed the episode that went up on April Fool's more than this one, but that also had like the 2 years of anticipation of coming back.
Yeah.
But I just loved that their answer for dealing with the divorce is to go to a post-apocalyptic world, and basically just like take it over.
Yeah, I like how that's how the episode played out, because in the beginning I didn't really think that was what was happening, but as you go on, you're like, oh, okay, they're just dealing with their issues.
Yeah,
that's why they're staying in this world. Like it's such smart writing. It really is.
Like I was talking to someone about this last night. Rick and Morty is probably one of the best TV shows on right now. Not just one of the best comedies, but one of the most smartly written and like well produced and well thought out shows. And it, for like on paper for what it is, it should not be that.
Yeah.
But it is, and that's incredible.
Yeah, because they managed to delve into complex, like serious issues, but they do it in a really bizarre, like even like violent and obviously comical way. So
like, I love like, because it's so off the wall. Like when Rick he genuinely believes that the right thing to do is to get his grandson to murder someone, by like drowning him, by like, and he just like holds his hand on the guy's chest to hold him under the water, like it's but you have that, but then the show, you have something so off the wall and ridiculous about that, but then you also have, the scene at the end between Summer and her dad, which is, just showing that she went, on this journey where she's not cold to him anymore, and she realizes like, okay, I went through all of this, and I know that I have to only look to the future, and they have that moment, and it has so much heart in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like this show almost should not deserve to be as good as it is, but it is, and that's what makes it so incredible.
Yeah, always looking forward to more of this every time I watch it now.
Yeah. Like,
there's so many great moments in this episode. Like with the mom, and she's like been living with these robot versions for like what did they say it was like 3 weeks or something?
Yeah. Which I also love that it only took Rick 3 weeks to domesticate that.
Yeah, right. Well, I thought about that, but I was like, you know what? They have all of like the remnants of technology and structure of society there. Yeah. So messed up though in the end when he takes the power source away. Like he didn't need to. He had the big chunk, and
he did it just to be.
The little one, he's like, fuck it.
That's
just take it. He's such a terrible person. Oh my god.
In the best way though.
Yeah.
And I can't repeat any of the stuff that was in there, but did you ever watch the Doc and Marty animated short?
No, I never did.
Oh, okay. It is so crass and rough and gross, but just being a fan of Rick and Morty, it's almost worth watching. because it's like a straight up spoof of Back to the Future, where essentially all they did to convert it into Rick and Morty is change the names, and they took a vest off of Morty and changed an A to an O. But I recommend watching that. Not if you're a kid listening to this podcast.
Yeah, right.
Try to be at least 18. But no, I can't express how much appreciation I have for this show, for Justin Roiland, Dan Harmon for creating it. Like it's so great, and I'm so glad that the quality did not dip, and I actually do understand and appreciate what they were saying this entire time when people were giving me such a hard time about not getting the show. And they're like, no, we're just working on the story. We want it to make it be the best that it can, and we've had 2 phenomenal episodes so far.
Yeah, it's totally been worth the wait.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to be getting a new episode like once a week. That I never had this before because I've only just watched it after the fact. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's episode, because I think that's the Pickle Rick episode.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. Which it's so ridiculous, but
I'm sure it'll be funny.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, so we're gonna bring this to a close.
Yes, on a high note.
Yeah, this has been episode 12 of the Superhero's Journey. I'm absolutely certain this time.
See, okay, I figured it out, because in Roman numerals, the 1 and the 1 on the 11 was a 2, so you're confusing that 11 was a number over 10, but the 1 and the 1 were. I'm trying to give you an excuse, Carl.
It's exactly what I did, Ryan.
Yeah.
How did you knew it?
Yeah, it's just, we're on the same page. Yeah.
So yeah, my name's Carl Freemerman.
I'm Brian Shores.
And last note, and now, of course, if you find us on Twitter at Superhero Journey, no E in Super.
Yep.
We previously posted something towards was it Kyle Hill? Is that his name? Because science episodes that we wanted him to talk about Pacific Rim, and if the force from the fist of a Jaeger, and how that would compare to conventional missiles, and how effective would it be to fighting the kaijus? And so far nothing.
Yeah, no response.
Obviously,
didn't really expect.
But I was a little disappointed in him, because I watched his most recent episode, and it was about like double jumping in video games in Mario, and I was like, really, Kyle? Like, I don't think there's anybody in anywhere who would think like, yeah, how does that work?
Yeah,
how could that possibly happen? And yeah, granted, he does give a good argument and a good explanation as to, and I was still, I still enjoyed it, but I think our idea is much more interesting.
Yeah, it would make for a much more interesting because science, I think.
Yeah, so
but I'm sure he's got a lot on his, plate for like what has been suggested and all that. So I'm sure he like marked us like straight in the middle of the list.
I mean, maybe. I hope so.
Yeah, Brian, Carl, don't worry.
We got to try harder, I think.
Yeah. Like have some kind of following on Twitter.
Yeah, maybe I would love it if we could get some people to back us on that. But either way.
Yeah, because oh no, sorry.
Nah, write to us on email as well if you'd like at Superhero's Journey, where heroes is plural, not possessive. That's at gmail.com.
Yeah, because and as we always say, whatever platform you're listening to us on, just rate and leave a comment. It'll help. If you're enjoying this, it'll help more people find it. But also, we love having the conversations with each other, but we also enjoy talking to you guys too. Because I don't know, maybe we're gonna get bored of each other eventually. Maybe we could start a fight between us. That'd be cool.
Whoa.
I don't know,
Ryan.
I don't know. We almost came to a fight. What was it, the Wonder Woman one, where I said that I didn't like the beginning of Man of Steel, and you were not having that.
Look,
even Mandy was like, "Whoa, that got sassy."
Whoa.
Like,
I would never fight over that. That's not important enough.
No. What would be important enough? What's your favorite movie? I don't know this about you. What's
There's no one favorite movie.
I have Ghostbusters. That's my favorite movie.
We're gonna fight over that right now.
All right.
That's the end. Okay, guys. Punching each other in the face in 3, 2.
Okay, but you owe me $500.
Agreed.
1.